do you do, ladies and gentlemen? I'm your host, Truman Bradley. Let me show you something interesting. Certainly, we are all aware of the changes science has made in our lives in recent years. But most of the astonishing changes are the ones you and I never see. Here is one of the oldest power sources, a steam boiler. This huge boiler generates all of 5 horsepower. Clumsy, inefficient, and space-consuming. Here is how science has reduced the size of our power source. This is an electric motor. The electric motor, small as it is, has the same power rating as the boiler. They are both 5 horsepower. Is it conceivable that one day a giant atomic reactor may be reduced to similar small size and propel a plane? This line of research is the background of our story. A new plane has been designed and built by Project Icarus, the XB-205. This was the first plane to carry a nuclear reactor. It was silent, yet with the ability to stay in the air indefinitely. Weeks, months, even years if need be. But the XB-205 was experimental, and it had a structural defect, something that didn't work the way it should. The plane disappeared without a trace somewhere in the Pacific. The last radio call was at 7:10 a.m. By 10 a.m., a full search of the area was underway. The search was maintained for over a week, but no trace of the plane or its crew was found. Among the men who were lost was Mark Kendler, pilot and physicist on Project Icarus. This is Mrs. Kendler, 6 months after she received the wire from the Department of Defense telling her of the death of her husband. At first, she refused to believe it, but finally, she gave up hope.
Just a minute. Thank you. Mother, I just received a wire. From Mark. He's alive. Well, he's in Washington.
Al, this is Mark Kendler. Mark L. Mitchell, Director of the Bureau of Scientific Security.
We're all glad you got back. Nobody's better than I am, sir.
Well, I can certainly say we'll be delighted to have him back on the project.
Sit down. Thank you. We've, all the information you gave the consul. You remembered anything since?
I wish I could help you, gentlemen, but I passed out when that ship picked me up, and I can't remember another thing till I woke up in the hospital at Singapore.
About the time the consul visited you.
That's right. Up till that time, my mind's a blank.
It's not hard to understand. You were under sedation.
Yes, but why? The injuries were healed. Surgery was completed.
We don't know why. We don't even know who did the surgery.
Could they? I mean, is it possible for them to do to me what they did on a ship?
I don't know. The surgery that was performed on you was an excellent job. According to the doctor who examined you, it was done by a top-level surgeon.
Could you have been picked up by a foreign hospital ship?
I didn't recognize it.
It doesn't make sense. Do you remember any questioning?
No.
No, you were lucky, Mark. Apparently, you ran into a good Samaritan. But we're still a little concerned as to why he wants to remain anonymous. After all, he's entitled to compensation. And our thanks.
Yes, that I can't figure out either.
We'll keep working on it.
Fine, I hope you do find out who it is. And when you do, let me know. I'd like to thank him personally.
Yes. Oh, fine. Send her in. It's your wife. Use my office. Dr. Woodward and I have other matters to discuss.
Thank you. Becky.
Oh, it's so long. I've just given up all hope. Oh.
It's all right, darling. It's all right. I'm back now. That's all we need to think about.
Welcome back, Mark.
John, thanks. It's a good feeling.
I've got a progress report.
Thank you.
You have a lot to catch up on.
Yes, I know. You've started work on another plane.
Yes, the XB-206. We had the same blasted problem, Mark, shielding. We haven't been able to whip it.
Mark, you old fake. Taking yourself a 6-month vacation.
Good to
boy.
see you. Pat?
You look fine, Mark.
Thank
Fine.
you. Medics gave me a clear bill of health, except for one bad ear.
Well, we're all set to brief you on the last 6 months' work. Where do you want to start?
Midnight. You've been working long enough.
I like to work.
Look at you. Your eyes are all bloodshot.
Hey, come here, you.
Oh, Frank.
What do you want me to do, get fired from the project?
Yes? You're going to fly again.
I've had my bad luck. I'm back now. The odds are with me.
They had me fly out here, Jim. That's how bad it is. The word we have from overseas is that their project is just as far along as ours.
But that doesn't mean there's a leak here.
They have Kendler's idea of shielding, the focusing reflector. They're working on it.
Where's the leak?
You got me. Every one of the men here has been checked and rechecked and under surveillance regularly.
They have Mark's idea? Why, it hasn't been 3 weeks since he proposed it.
That's just what removes him from suspicion. Why, if he turned traitor for some reason or another...
Oh, not Mark. I know him too well.
If he had turned traitor, why not give it to them first? Why give it to us and then to the other side?
That's right. That should eliminate Mark.
Yes, except we don't eliminate anybody, Jim. Not even you.
Not a square foot of the plant was missed. Highly sensitive electronic instruments searched everywhere, but nothing was found.
Focusing to the center of the reactor. No radiation can leave. It all returns to the actual nuclear reaction. It might double or triple the efficiency. That's it. Focusing reflectors on all 4 sides, turning the radiation right back into the reactor.
Fantastic. Unbelievable. Where'd you get that tape?
We intercepted a courier about to cross the English Channel.
But how in heaven's name did they get it? Recorded like that?
We need a conference with the 4 voices on this tape. Kendler, Johnson, Gilman, and Bergstrom.
It's got to work. I'll get Sam to check the math. But we should get the highest efficiency reactor ever constructed.
And that tape was taken from a courier?
That's right. Means the recording instrument was operated right in this very room.
That's impossible. You've been over this room, the whole building, a dozen times.
How do you account for the tape, Mark?
I don't know. Someone obviously must have planted the instrument here and then removed it later.
And how would that be done? This whole floor is restricted with guards at every possible entrance to the floor.
How about the guards?
Guards are out. There are 2 at each entrance, and we keep changing the combinations of men.
And that narrows it down to the 4 of us on the project.
I'm afraid so.
Well, what are you going to do?
The only thing I can do, suspend all 4 of you. You're to stay home, under guard.
Under guard? Well, you know all of us. You can trust us.
I can't trust anyone now.
When information leaks out about a top secret project, no one concerned is above suspicion. And at Project Icarus, the security leak was particularly mysterious.
Jim, is this that tape recording? Yeah. I'd like you to play it for me again, if you will. I've had an idea. Maximum volume, please.
Mark, sorry to bother you, but Pat and I think we've got this reflector figured out, at least on the...
Now, you've heard it yourselves, gentlemen. That was not recorded directly on tape. That was broadcast by radio transmitter. You heard the static and the fading.
What does that change, Mark?
You can find a transmitter if it keeps on transmitting. Set up radio monitoring equipment in the basement of the project lab. Put men on it 24 hours a day. Try the whole radio frequency spectrum to find the transmission that made that tape recording. But you'd better keep the four of us on the project to keep that transmitter going.
All right, Mark. You'll all go back to work.
Well, that's it.
What about that new equipment we brought?
Well, there's still this one, Mr. Mitchell. It's a very high-frequency receiver. Covers the highest frequency of the spectrum. It's not used for any purpose. Too hard to handle.
Plug it in.
That's a transmission.
Sounds scrambled. Deliberately done to prevent interception.
No, I don't think so. It sounds more like a different type of transmission. Some change in the method of sending out a wave.
What can we do about it?
Keep it on. Find some way to receive it properly. It's going to take time, if I can do it at all.
There's nothing else we can do. Go ahead.
Wake up, darling. It's 7:30.
We've got it. We've got it coming in. It was ultra-high frequency, all right. Not AM or FM. It's a type of pulse modulation. Works by interrupting the broadcast wave.
Come on, sleepyhead, get up. Breakfast's ready.
Time to get up already.
Mark and Peggy from their house. But how?
I don't know how or why, but that's a transmitter. And Mark Kendler's operating it.
Now hurry up. You have 10 minutes for your shower.
Dan, this is Al. Go up to Kendler's house and bring in Mr. and Mrs. Kendler. Johnny's outside the house. He'll work with you. Right away. And Dan, don't talk to them any more than you have to.
Listen, at least tell me what's going on here.
We'll be back as soon as the doctor comes. Why don't you get undressed? There's a robe on the table.
What did you write in the note?
I told him everything we know, that he's got a transmitter on him, and that we're not talking in front of him.
Well, what if he tips anyone off?
We'll have it on the tape recorder downstairs. We're taping everything that comes over the air now. Oh, Dr. Lewis, we'll want you to give Kendler a complete physical checkup.
Of course. But what am I to look for?
Fantastic as it may sound, we think he's a living radio transmitter. We've searched all his clothing. Found nothing.
A transmitter? But how?
We don't know. We hope you can find that out.
Then where could it be?
We may be all wrong, but I want you to go over him with a fluoroscope and X-ray.
And say nothing to him about his condition or what you're doing. Every word you speak will be broadcast, and we don't want anyone listening to know what we're doing.
All right.
What'd you tell him?
What we're hunting for.
Right there in the ear cavity is the transmitter. This right here I'm not sure about, but it could be a battery, a power source of some kind.
Right close to the surface of the skin.
Power source. Could it be a tiny solar battery?
I'll take odds that it is. And enough sun gets through the layers of the skin to keep the battery charged and run the transmitter.
Of course, we can't be sure until we remove it. But from what you've told me, this must be it.
Unbelievable. Must have been put there by the people who picked him up at sea.
During surgery.
And that explains why he can't hear in that ear. And those headaches.
A marvelous job of surgery. The man that did this is a genius.
Maybe. But he's on the wrong team.
Now what?
Does he have one of these in his office?
Yes. There's a communicator typewriter in every office. We all use them.
All right, you type what I dictate. Mark, this is the only way we will be able to talk to you. We found the transmitter. During the surgery that was done on you, it was placed in the ear cavity. Before we remove it by surgery, we want to send out one more broadcast. One that will send our friends off in the wrong direction. Fine. I'll help you write the script for the broadcast. I've got an idea that'll blow up their whole project.
Mark, Pat, Dr. Bergstrom,
Yes, Sam?
I think we've got the reflector width.
We're going over the report on alloy 245.
Listen, if my math is right, reflecting all the high-speed particles back into the pile will intensify the reaction, that's all.
Then we'll need heavier dampening rods, better controls.
If you're right, Sam, we'll save on fuel. It'll be self-energizing.
I know I'm right. There's absolutely no danger. Just increase the safety margin by 25%.
All right. I'll notify Woodward to have construction altered.
Come on, Peg. Come on now, girl. It's all over.
I know. It's for all the time I worried. I didn't cry then.
That's a woman for you. When she's got cause to cry, she's brave. When she's got no cause, she cries.
I'm sorry. I can't help it. I'm just so happy.
Thought you might like to see this, Mark. This is it. This is the monster. The whole thing.
Beautiful job of miniaturization. Our guided missile men should get quite a few ideas out of this. It's better than anything we've got.
Funny. They go out of their way to steal some of our ideas and hand us one of their best on a silver platter.
On a silver platter, nothing. On my head.
Before our story began, we talked about making engines smaller and more efficient, and how that related to the atomic-powered plane of the future. But this tiny transmitter is miniaturization to the nth degree, all of which proves that the future isn't as far away as we consider it to be. Actually, it's tomorrow. I'll be back with you in just a moment. I hope you enjoyed our story. We'll be back with you a week from today with another exciting adventure from the world of fiction and science. Until then, this is your host, Truman Bradley, saying, see you next week.